This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review. Write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it. And tell everybody you know about it. And then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Hello, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and today we have a special show to talk about what we are all experiencing with the LA fires. What do you do when you have a tragedy, a disaster that comes upon you or your family? What do you do to turn that setback into a comeback? What do you learn from it, and how can you prepare for those situations? My guest today has had that happen to him, and it's an incredible lesson for everybody. Everybody should hear it because it might happen to anybody on any given day, and we want to bless you with this information. Well, you know, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon me. I can't refuse it. I didn't seek it. I didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. You know, that's God's minute. And I'm grateful, and I give God glory for life and strength and health, for this radio show being the #1 self-help show in the country now, the podcast being in the top 5% of podcasts downloaded globally. I am grateful, and I'm grateful to God for the opportunity to try and impact people with a positive, uplifting message every week. Not pop culture, not politics. We talk about helping people to win more, and that's why I am grateful, and I give God glory. And you know, I say every week, God's gift to you is life. Your gift to God is what you do with your life. So do something incredible with your life because it will make a difference. I want to take a moment also to thank you, wherever you may be around the globe. Thank you for your notes, your letters, your calls, all saying how much this show has helped you. Some have started businesses, written books. I thank you. And then I want to thank our sponsor, Truist Bank. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist is a great partner, and I'm grateful for them. Truist.com. check them out. Well, my show today is a timely show. You know, many of my shows are evergreen. They can play anytime, over and over, whenever. But this is a show specifically for this moment in time. In early 2025, in America, where we are seeing something we've probably never seen before, a devastating fire in Los Angeles. And I had the opportunity to be on a Zoom event last week. And my dear friend, who's been on this show before, J.R. Fenwick, gave a master class about living through a devastating event, a fire, and how his house burnt down, and the things you should learn and you should be aware of, so that when things happen, or if they happen, hopefully but when they happen to you, you'll be prepared. And it was so good. I said, this has to be on right now, as people around the country are feeling for the folks in Los Angeles. And maybe some of those folks in Los Angeles will hear this broadcast, but those who are not in Los Angeles, who might have a tragedy or a difficult situation come their way, can know what to do. J.R. Fenwick is the CEO of Flip That Stock, the founder and CEO. We've been friends for 30 years. And he was a salesman. I'll let you let him tell you about it, but he was a medical device salesman. He made a nice six-figure income, but he decided that there was something greater. He left his job, became an entrepreneur, and one of the things he started doing after some trial and tribulation was learning about investments. And once he learned it, he took it to another level, and now he teaches people. So he's the founder of Flip That Stock, and I'm gonna let you tell the rest of the story, who you're from, where you're from, all of that, and then we're going to get into this topic area. J.R. Fenwick, good to have you on again.
Always a pleasure, Willie, and I appreciate what you're doing, man. It's so needed with so much going on out here in the world, and particularly in L.A. and California. But a little bit about my background is grew up in Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, to be exact. Grew up very fortunate. My father was a doctor, mother was a nurse. And when it came time to go to school, a game plan was put together. You know, back then, it was more of a dictatorship than, you know, what do you want to do? It was more like, this is what you're going to do, right?
Right.
And so I wanted to be a professional musician. I had been playing guitar since the age of 7. And my father's like, I ain't paying for that. Like, you know, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go to Hampton University. Well, he let me choose what school I wanted to go to. So I chose Hampton. And the major that was chosen for me, notice I said chosen for me,
right,
was nursing pre-med. And he said, you get this degree, and then you can go on to medical school or dental school. He's a graduate of Meharry Medical College. And, you know, the game plan was to go that route and probably take over his practice. But as you know, in life, funny things happen. Your life can take many twists and turns. And so, you know, after I graduated from Hampton, I started
with a degree in nursing, correct?
Yeah, degree in nursing pre-med.
Right.
And I started working in a hospital in downtown Washington. And for lack of a better phrase, I hated it. I was like, this isn't what I want to do. And so I was like, I couldn't get the entrepreneur bug out of me. I couldn't get the desire to be a guitarist. And so here's a funny story. You may not know. I don't think I've ever told you this, but, you know, in order to be an RN, you have to pass your RN license. Okay. When you first get hired, they treat you like you've already passed it, knowing you're going to take the test, and they assume that you're going to pass it, and they pay you like you're an RN. Okay. But if you don't pass it, you get demoted. Well, I moved here into the DC area and got to, you know, hanging out and having fun. I didn't study for the test. So come time to take this test, I take it, I get the results, I didn't pass. But now I get demoted from being an RN to an RN's assistant until I take the test again and pass it, and then you get promoted back. Well, and by the way, that demotion came with a 60% pay cut.
Wow.
And so I was like, wow. But I adjusted my lifestyle. And one of the things I did like was that as a nursing assistant, even though I had this degree, I got off at 4:00 right on time. But as many nurses know, your shift may be over at 4, but you got to do paperwork and all this, that, and the other for the next shift. So anyway, I take the test again and I pass it. But now I don't want to go back to being a full-fledged RN because I like getting off at 4 and I had other plans, other ambitions. And so everybody, who took the test, all their results came in and they kept asking me, well, did you get your results? And I'm like, I haven't got them yet. Even though I got them and I knew I passed, I didn't want to tell them. And so finally they cornered me. They're like, you have to have got these results. I said, they'll probably be here tomorrow. And I come in, I tell them I passed. They have balloons and cake and all this stuff. And I say, but I don't want to go back to taking those responsibilities on. And they said, nobody in the history of the hospital has ever told them they didn't want to get promoted after they passed the test. I said, I don't want it. So they gave me an ultimatum. They said, either you go back to being, full-time and taking responsibilities, or you got to leave. And the next day I handed my resignation in. And I said, within 1 year, you're going to see me on TV. In 1 year, Willie, to the date, I was on Showtime at the Apollo.
All right now.
Wow. So sometimes you got to go after it, and you just
and no question.
Go.
So you went on from there, you continued to play guitar. You started a recording studio and started recording. That's how we met, because you recorded my first audio book, Setback Setup for a Comeback audio book. And then
actually the first one that we recorded was It Only Takes a Minute.
Oh, okay.
Right?
You're right. That's right. My first one, and I thought I'd done that at the radio station where I had been working, but you're right. You did it there. Then we did a Setback Setup for Comeback with you. And you also had a second job or beyond a recording studio where you were a medical medical device salesman. You're making 6 figures, doing good. And you had a setback. And that's what I want to get into. Let's talk about that setback, because you had a beautiful home in a very exclusive area in Maryland. Beautiful. Let's talk about what happened.
Yeah. So after I left the hospital, I went into pharmaceutical sales, medical equipment sales, company car expenses, all of that, and making a lot of money at a very, very young age. Mm-hmm. And so bought a custom built home in the woods on 3 acres, swimming pool, guest house. We had a pavilion in the back, which we used to have those networking events that you would come and speak at.
Right.
I had a recording studio in the house, and just, man, it was heaven on earth to me. Right. And so one day on a Friday.
Before we go to about the burning down, I want to talk about the insurance. I think that was a great. Before, I'm telling you in advance, folks, the house burned to the ground. Okay. But before that happened, there was something that happened about insurance. Please.
You're right. So when we moved into the house, when we first
his wife and 2 kids.
Two kids. And mother-in-law, elderly mother-in-law.
Okay,
and
great.
Two young kids at the time.
Right.
And so when we first moved in, I got a call from an insurance guy, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to review your insurance policy with you." I said, "Okay, come on out." And I'll never forget, we had this pavilion in the back, and we're sitting under the pavilion drinking some lemonade or something. And I'm just going to be straight up honest with your audience. I didn't know what he was talking about. Here's what I do remember, though. He said, "It's only an extra $20 a month." Now, at that time, I was involved in a home-based business company, and they used to have this motto: better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Mm-hmm. And so that's going through my mind. I'm like, I'm never going to need this, but it's only $20 extra a month. So I signed up for it. Didn't even know what I was signing up for. That's the honest truth.
Wow. But
in the end, as you'll find out, I'm so glad I did. And so,
you are so glad you did.
Man.
And this is one of the lessons that I want people to make sure you don't let it slide by, slip by, make you lose this, is that he went for the best insurance. It was only a few dollars more a month.
Yeah.
And not knowing if you'd ever need it, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And insurance, if you're going to create wealth, JR, by the way, is one of the people who is featured in my new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. And in this book, I say there are 3 pegs to wealth building: income, investment, and insurance. He'll hit on all of those today in this, before this is over, because he has learned about multiple streams of income, about investment. He teaches that, and then about insurance. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, because you got to hear the rest of this story. It's going to impact your life in a powerful way. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show, and for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent. You can call on me when you need me. You can call on me. Call me. You can call on me. Pick up the phone. You can call and call me.
Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and support for the Dr. Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show comes from Truist Bank. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Home ownership is a blessing. That's right, it's a blessing. And the ability to build equity, value in a home that you own can be the foundation of creating wealth. Wealth that can be passed on for generations. Truist believes that a path to home ownership exists for you. I hear people say, well, I don't see how I could ever own a home. Well, Truist can help you buy a home with a low down payment. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about the options available to you. Reach them by calling 855-257-4040, 855-257-4040. They really care. You can also visit truist.com/homebuyer, truist.com/homebuyer to calculate your mortgage payment. That's truist.com/homebuyer. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. Remember, visit truist.com/homebuyer or call 855-257-4040. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show and podcast. The podcast is heard now globally. We got people around the world. In fact, I ask every week, if you would just send me an email if you're listening in another country. If you're hearing this in another country, whether it's the show or the podcast, just send me an email, info@williejolly.com. I'll send you a little gift and say, hey, you're part of our international. I'll send you a digital gift. But just say info@williejolly.com. I'm listening from whatever country that is. Also, for everybody, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, I want you to go to winwithwillie.com. winwithwillie.com and look at all the suite of sites. We got information on our marriage site, our marriage show, our motivation site for business, our motivation site for young people, motivation site for personal. I've got something on our faith-based site. We got something on if you want to be a speaker. We got our music. All of it is inspiring and empowering and uplifting, and it will help you win more. How many of y'all want to win more? Really? Go to winwithwillie.com. And if you're not signed up to my newsletter, look for the sign up spot on my website, or just go to WJWow.com, WJWow.com. After you go to winwithwillie.com, go to WJWow and sign up for the newsletter. You'll get free access to ebooks, music, all sorts of goodies to help you succeed in life, in personal life, and your professional life. WJWow.com, then winwithwillie.com. Special guest today is founder CEO of flipthatstock.com. It's an incredible company that is teaching people all over America about investing. It's easy, it's fun, it's simple, and it teaches you, because most people have no idea that that is one of the key ways to wealth. But we're going to talk about not just flip that stock. We'll talk about that later. We're talking about right now a special show. This is a special show to talk about the hearts have gone out to the people in LA, our hearts, and some of our dollars are going out there to help them. And we're encouraging you to find valuable companies or organizations where you can make an investment. Do your research, because there's some scams out there now who are coming up saying send money to them, but American Red Cross and others like them we know are good, but find the ones that are real for real. But anyway, J.R. Fenwick has a specific perspective on home fires because he experienced one. I'm gonna let him finish the story. Please, JR, please.
Yeah, so just everything was going. I mean, it seemed like everything I was touching was turning to gold.
Yes.
And, I just was like on a high that you can't believe business-wise. Everything was going great with business. Everything was going great. Personal life with family. And then one day, I came home on a Friday in May. And it was 6:45 on a Friday. Normally when I come home, we had a little dog that would be barking. The kids would be there running around. My elderly mother-in-law was there. But this particular day, I came home at 6:45 and I walk into the house and it's quiet. There's nobody. And I'm like, I don't know where everybody's at. And I don't care because it's Friday and I got a break. And I'll never forget. So like I said, we lived in a secluded area in the woods on 3 acres, and we had a ranch style house. And so I came in on one end of the house, but the master bedroom is on the opposite end of the house. And so I went into the master bedroom, and literally, Willie, this is when Barack Obama was running. So I'm in the bedroom, I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. I turn the TV on and I start leaning back, and I'm about 45 degrees leaning back because I'm about to be out and take a nap. But I want to turn the news on, hear what's going on with the election and stuff. And right as I'm leaning back, my doorbell starts ringing. But it not just, like a ding dong ring. It just kept ringing. Well, this is what my kids used to do when they would come home from wherever they were. And then they'd come busting through the door and we go into our WWE wrestling match. Right? So I just get home and I'm like, dang, they're home already. I didn't get a chance to rest. So I just sat there waiting for them to bust through the, master bedroom door, and nothing happened. Doorbell keeps ringing. And I'm like, why do they come on in the house? So now I'm irritated. So I get up, I walk to the front door and I open the door and there's nobody there. Like, okay, well, at the other end of the house, there was another door with a doorbell. And as fate would have it, I walked out the front door, down the walkway to where this other entry to the house would be. Normally, I would have just went through the kitchen and went through the garage. But fate led me not that way, which is very important, but out the front door, down the driveway. And I look, and there's nobody at that door. So I'm like, what was? And then I hear this crackling noise. And I look up, and it was like Towering Inferno. Wow. You couldn't see it from the front of the house where I was, but the whole side of the top house of the garage just blazed, just coming out of no. I'm stunned. I mean, stunned is anybody who's been in a fire knows what I'm talking about. You're like in a movie, like, is this really happening? Because you see this on TV.
Right.
So my first thought was I got to run back in the house, get my cell phone, my wallet, and my keys to the car and call 911. It might have been at best 60 seconds, at best, by the time I ran back in the house. And at this point, the house was filling up with smoke. So you know how you have many houses have vents in the ceiling, right? And in the floor, smoke is just coming through them. So to the point where you can barely see. And it happened that quick. And so when they say these fires can spread quickly, when you're in one, you really see how quickly they spread. So I grabbed my keys, my phone, and my wallet. I run out the house. and I dialed 911.
Right.
Well, before I dialed 911, the first thing I did was, now this is a blaze coming out of the house. I don't know what I was thinking, but attached to the guest house was a garden hose. So I go and grab the garden hose like I'm going to put out a 4-alarm fire with this garden hose. Now, what I'm about to tell you is crazy and it's kind of funny. The garden hose was all tangled up. You know how you garden, you try
right.
And it made me think about that commercial where they had these garden hoses that say tangle-free garden. I'm like, Jesus, I need a tangle-free garden hose right now. But it wasn't going to do anything. So I run to the edge of my lawn and I call 911. And I'm screaming in a panic. My house is burning up. And I'm literally seeing this fire spread almost like the roof would just pop out like this as it's spreading across the roof. And I'm sitting there and I'm still stunned, right? Now, where I lived at the time is only 15 minutes wide. It's not a major metropolitan city or anything like that, right?
Right.
But 15 minutes go by. Well, first about maybe 7 or 8 minutes go by, and I don't hear any fire trucks or anything. So I call 911 back again. Now I'm irate. My house is burning. It's getting worse and worse. And they're like, sir, they're coming. Nobody comes. Now it's going on 20 minutes. House is full blaze by this point. I call again, screaming at the top of my lungs. And finally the fire trucks are coming. But what happened was all the fire trucks in my entire town were at another house that had burned to the ground.
Wow.
And they were just finishing up that fire. And so they had to load up and get all the water on the truck or however they do it. And next thing you know, 7 fire trucks come barreling down this hill, all on the grass and everything. I'm standing there in shock. And they get out of the fire trucks. We had a big, beautiful bay window. And the first thing they do is they take an axe and just bust the window all open. While somebody's doing that, a ladder went on the roof and a fireman was up there with a chainsaw cutting big square chunks out of the roof, right? and letting the fire out. And so I'm sitting there looking at the house just being destroyed. Whatever the fire didn't destroy, you may hear the saying, the firemen destroyed, but that's part of their job.
Right.
And so I sat there and watched this house burn for 4 hours. News helicopter flying above. Neighbors started congregating because we lived down a house, kind of down a hill by ourselves. And I'm devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm devastated. This was my dream home. Everything I worked for is gone. But it gets worse. So at some point, I have to use the bathroom.
Right.
And my neighbor who lived up the hill said, hey, JR, come on up the hill, use our bathroom. And so I start walking, and the fire chief stops me, grabs me by the arm, and says, don't go far and don't be long. And right then and there, I knew I was a suspect of arson.
Wow.
It's kind of like if something happens to your spouse, the first person they're going to look at is you.
Right.
So now my house is burning up. He's grabbed me by the arm talking about don't go far. And I looked at him and I was so angry. Like, I want to know what happened to my home more than you. I didn't set any fire on my home. So anyway, took them 4 hours to get this fire out. They finally come out and they show me 2 little wires that are like a cross, maybe 2 or 3 inches wide. And you know how wires in your house, they have that little plastic coating on them.
Right.
Well, over time, the heat up in the attic where this fire started melted the coating off, and those 2 wires touched. And that's what started the electrical fire. And the doorbell kept ringing because the wire that started the fire was attached to the doorbell and kept triggering it. Otherwise, I would have fell asleep and we wouldn't be having this conversation now.
Wow. We got more to tell you, though, about the lessons that each one of you can learn from this experience. It will change your life. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, The best is yet to come. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store. Get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show with my special guest, J.R. Fenwick, founder and CEO of Flip That Stock. I call it the number one easy, simple way to learn how to invest here in America for sure. And it is available to anybody. He has classes and programs. Real quick, tell people where they can access Flip That Stock and access you if you want to have you come speak for one of their events.
FlipThatStock.com, FLIP, thatstock.com. And you'll see our programs and you'll be able to access me. I do a lot of different speaking events and educational events. FlipThatStock.com.
All right, great. Well, my special guest is J.R. Fenwick, and he's telling the story about how he was living the life of his dreams, beautiful home, dream home, and it catches on fire and burns to the ground. What happened after that?
They put the fire out, which took 4 hours for them to put this fire out.
Wow.
Now, where I live, secluded area in the woods, is pitch black at night. But when fire trucks come, they have these lights that will light an area up like it's daytime.
Right.
So when the lights go out, it's pitch black. And I'm standing there, literally, tears coming down my face, house burned up, don't know what to do. And the fire chief says this to me: you got to board that house up tonight, right now, because if somebody comes in that house and gets injured, you're going to be liable in a lawsuit. Now, I want you to imagine seeing my dream home just burn down. During this whole process, again, we lived down a hill. I had to call my wife and tell her the house was on fire. She starts screaming. She has the kids with her. They're crying. And the kids come running down the hill thinking I'm dead because I was in the fire. So I had to calm them down and get them. I didn't want them seeing their house burn up. So I'm like, get them out of here. And they went around the corner to a good friend's house to stay with them. So now I'm sitting there by myself with the fire chief. And he's like, you got to get this boarded up. I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? I don't have any boards. I don't know how to board a house up. It didn't even dawn on me at that time to call the insurance company, right? This isn't something you go through every day.
Right.
So, I'm like, so he said, call your insurance company. They'll know what to do. So I called the insurance company, and here's how the conversation went. Call them. I said, I'm a mess at this point. They got to calm me down. Well, Mr. Fenwick, tell us your name, tell us your policy number and everything. I tell them that. They said, hold on a second. The lady gets back on the phone. I will never forget what she said to me. She said, oh, Mr. Fenwick. Now, I didn't, somebody can say that. That could be good or that could be bad. I didn't know. Right. I didn't know which way this was going, right? She said, you have the best policy we have. Don't you worry about a thing. All because 20 years prior to that, I upgraded my policy and was paying $20 a month and didn't even know what I was paying for.
Wow.
Right. And so one of the messages to your listening audience is I want to make sure you guys know what's in your homeowner's policy, because you couldn't have convinced me that as a successful business person and family life is going great, that my house was going to burn down out of nowhere. There's no way you're going to convince me of that. Right. Maybe a tree might fall on the house because we lived in, but not the house just burn up and all that. And so during this whole process, I learned what was in that policy because they sat down and they broke it down. So there's 3 things that you have to know are in your policy, and you want to know these ahead of time before a tragedy happens like what happened to me. Right. So the first thing is, and think of it as 3 separate buckets of money in your policy. So the first bucket is a rebuild bucket. All right. I'm not giving you the technical term, but this is what it boils down to.
Sure.
It's a certain amount of money that's in your policy that says if your house burns down or is damaged or whatever, here's how much you have to rebuild your house.
Right.
You want to make sure that that number is big enough to rebuild your house in today's money. Right. So if you had a 50-year-old door on your house, you don't want them replacing it with a 50-year-old door. You want them to put a brand new door. Right. So that's the first bucket. How much money is in that bucket to replace your house, to rebuild your house? The second bucket is a bucket of money that's in your policy to replace all the items that were destroyed in your house. And let me tell you what they told me. I said, Mr. Fenwick, are you familiar with Excel spreadsheets? I said, yes, I am. They said, put a simple spreadsheet together and list every item that was in your house. Now, most of us, and they said down to Q-tips and cotton balls in your closet. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to, right? So for your listeners out here, here's what I recommend. Go through your house with a video camera or a camera and
take cell phone, do your video.
Cell phone, whatever, and just take pictures of everything and do it once a year. Because otherwise, going by memory and trying to remember, and you're already distraught and everything, you're not going to remember everything. And we didn't either. Now, fortunately, our company, we'd come back a month later and said, oh, we forgot about this. We forgot. And they just, no problem. But it's easier if you just do all this in advance. So the second bucket is an amount of money to replace what's in your house. The third bucket is really important, and that is your living expenses, because you can't live in the house. You got to go live somewhere else. But guess what, Willie? I still had to pay a mortgage.
Wow.
So if I didn't have enough money in that third bucket to provide housing for me, now I'm really out. I'm paying a mortgage over here, and I got to pay for a place over here. So it took them almost a year to rebuild our house. And we had enough money in that bucket for almost 2 years, I believe.
Wow.
But if we only had enough for 2 months, after that 2 months, insurance company's like, well, you're on your own. You got to pay for it. So you want to make sure those 3 buckets again, replacing what it's going to cost to rebuild your house.
Yes.
Replacing the items that are in your house.
Yes.
And then the third thing is living expenses while you're outside of your house.
Wow.
That's what you want to check that policy for.
Yes. And man,
Yeah.
Now, you and I had dialogue during that time.
Oh, man.
We had dialogue.
Somebody asked me the other day on our call, they said, well, what did you learn, JR? What lessons did you learn from all of this? So the first lesson was make sure that policy is in place and intact, and you understand. I was just fortunate. I was lucky, really.
You were blessed. You were blessed by that guy who came by and gave you the opportunity to get a better insurance protection policy.
And he explained it. I just didn't understand it. And I probably wasn't paying attention because I'm thinking I ain't going to need this.
I ain't going to need it. But
pay attention.
Boy, it's better to have it and not need it, not have it.
That's right.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is, boy, you are blessed when you got good friends and family.
Yes.
And so this ties into you, Willie, where I would go by the house every day.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at it. And if you look and stare at anything enough, it can motivate you or it can depress you.
Right.
So I'm in the backyard one day and I'm sinking into depression. The house is burned up, glass everywhere, water still everywhere. It was just a mess. It was a mess. And so normally I'm motivating people. Normally people are calling me like they call you for motivation, but this time I had nothing. My tank was on 0.
Right.
And I said, I got to call the motivator. And I don't know if you remember all the details of this, but I called you up and I'm standing in my backyard and I'm looking at the house and you said, well, describe what you see. And I'm like, well, there's glass everywhere. They put a hole in the roof. The fire burnt this, and I'm just describing it. And then you said again, well, yeah, but tell me what you see. So I described some more. They did this. They smashed a window here. And then you said, yeah, but what do you see? Now I'm like, I don't understand, and I'm already down. It's like, how many times do you want me to go over this? I'm already low. I'm sinking low. And I said, well, this. And then you said to me, no, tell me the new house you see.
Amen. Tell
me what you see after it's rebuilt. And I'm getting chills in my body right now, reliving that.
Wow.
Because my mindset switched.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yes. That's exactly.
Just like that. From that one thing, no, tell me what you see once your house is rebuilt.
Yes.
And my mind, because your mind can play tricks on you.
Right.
My mind started shifting and saying, oh, man, what is this going to look like when we rebuild it? Because we're going to rebuild.
Yes.
We're going to make it better. We're going to make it stronger. We're going to make it safer. And so I started focusing on that. And that's one of the things that brought me out of that rut.
Wow.
And so one of the lessons that you want to know is, who are the people who surround you now before you have a tragedy? See, I've always been connected with Willie for about 30 years now.
Right.
Before, this tragedy happened. So who is your support? Who are your true friends? Who will be there for you when the money's gone?
Right.
And you're standing there with nothing but the clothes on your back. Matter of fact, some of our friends came by. It's so funny. We had so many people reach out to us. And I'm going to tell the truth, Willie. It was embarrassing because I'd never been in that situation. I was always the one cutting the checks to somebody and helping somebody out. So now here I was in need. Yes. And you were there to lift my spirits. And we had some friends come by and they had a truck full of clothes and shoes and toys for the kids. The kids' toys burned up and they were all destroyed. And I'll never forget, they came out and they gave us a hug. And the first thing they said to us was, y'all smell like barbecue. and we did. We had no clothes. We had the same clothes on for the couple of days. And I said, that's messed up. But we all laughed. We laughed so hard, and we needed that.
Yes.
We needed that laughter. And so those are some of the lessons I learned. Number one, know your policy. Yes. Know your policy. Yes. Check it every year. If you live in an apartment or you're renting, get renter's insurance. And still, you won't have to know replacement value of that apartment, but you're going to need to know replacement for your items and living expenses.
Yes.
So yeah, man, I just want to thank you. You do so much good work for the community and with the radio show and your speaking. But I want to personally thank you for those words, because brother, that took a brother from I was so low I was playing ping pong against the curb.
Well, stay tuned. We're going to get more from J.R. Fenwick about how to take a setback, turn it into an incredible comeback, and how to make your life better. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. And for sure, the best is yet to come.
Motivated, highly motivated, gonna take you to the top. Motivated, highly motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. I knew that this was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check, there was almost nothing there. I went to the boss, he laughed and said he didn't care. My kids were at home hungry, I was about to lose my home. That's when I decided I had to make it on my own. Said I gonna take it to the top. I said oh yeah, said I'm never gonna stop. My friends said I was crazy when I told them all goodbye, but the only one who's crazy is the one who's afraid to try. They said I'd never make it, said I would not survive, but I knew I had to make it. It was either do or die. So I grabbed hold of my dream and I put it in my heart. I stepped out on my faith and learned to really trust in God. Knew I had to fight with all my power. Then things started happening, blessings came hour after hour. Oh yeah, gonna take it to the top. I said
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friends said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. Is this a profound program or what, folks? People in Los Angeles lost their house. And I've thought about it when JR said some of them are looking at a house that's destroyed, but they have to look at it as what's possible. What's going to be better when it comes back? How that community can come back bigger and better, stronger, and have more resources so that if anything ever like this happens again. But we want to encourage everybody in Los Angeles. We want to encourage everybody. Let's get this message to them. You got somebody who out in Los Angeles who might have lost their home or know someone who lost their home. But here's what I want to say. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Well, JR, there's more to this story. Please tell them how the story ended and or how the story came from that setback to an incredible comeback.
Again, it started really with those words, what do you see?
Yes.
and focus on what's coming. Here's what is really interesting. You ever hear of someone who's made a lot of money, became rich or wealthy, they lose it all, and then you turn around and they made it all back?
Right.
It's because they have a formula. They did it once, they know how to do it.
That's right.
So in this example, I couldn't work my business. I had to move the kids. I got sick with a bleeding stress ulcer. My mother-in-law got sick. It was a mess, right? But I started saying to myself, I had a very lucrative business and I had to let it go.
Right.
But I said, I'm going to rebuild another business. And I know how to do it.
Right.
Because the formula is the same. It may be a different
formula works. Once you know the recipe.
Once you know the recipe, that's right. And you can usually do it quicker.
Right.
Because now you know the recipe.
That's right.
And so this particular go around, I just happened to always have an interest in the stock market from a buddy of mine years prior who started teaching me and talking to me about the stock market. And so I started really, at first dibbling and dabbling in it. And then I started really getting serious about it. And I started going to seminars and taking courses and hiring a stock market coach. And I got into it. I mean, I got into it. I started becoming obsessed with the stock market. And I realized that because I didn't go to school for finances or business and Harvard and Yale and all this type of stuff and go work on Wall Street, I had a different perspective of how easy it is to invest and trade in the stock market with this system that I was creating. Because I wasn't just going and teaching it the same way everybody else was teaching it.
Right.
I started creating little programs and courses, not for anybody else, but for myself.
Right.
And so I started doing this and I started having some success. And I'm like, man, this is incredible. I started thinking, you know what? All my closest friends, we never talk about anything about really making money.
Right.
We talk about sports.
Yep.
We talk about going to concerts and dinners and girlfriends and wives and kids. So I started telling them, hey, fellas, we got to learn about this stock market game. We got to learn how to trade. We got to learn how to invest. And they started coming by my house and I started showing them what I was doing. I did one, I call it stock flipping, where I bought and sold a stock in 6 minutes and made $1,000.
Wow.
And so I started sharing this with my friends and said, fellas, we got to learn this. We got to learn this. And so I wanted to start a little club with just my friends, and we would get together and flip stocks and invest and stuff like that. Unbeknownst to me, they started telling their friends about me. And now I started getting these calls from across the country. So many people were asking me to teach them. And that's how I ended up getting into, I said, okay, I'll start a little course and teach people. But the problem was I didn't know how to put this thing online, to teach. So I called a buddy of mine named Walter out of Chicago. And Walter said, hey, man, I know how to put stuff up online, memberships and courses. And he taught me. And then I started learning that. And then I started learning about how to market and put it out and teach people. And 12 years later, we are one of the top, if not the top. We're one of the top stock market education and technology companies in the United States of America that teaches a fun and easy way to get started in the stock market. We can teach anybody. You don't need any stock market education. You don't have to have read any books or anything. We teach you from scratch, step by step, how to start investing and also how to start trading in the stock market.
And why is that important, JR? Because many people will say, I'm gonna buy a stock because my cousin told me it's a hot stock. It's a hot stock. But why is it important to know what you're doing?
Well, before we even get to the part about a hot stock pick, most of us say, I don't know nothing about it. It's too complicated. They stay out of it.
They stay out of it.
Right.
They lose the opportunity for millions of dollars and wealth.
Yes, because there's three wealth builders: owning a business, real estate, and investing and trading in the stock market.
Yep.
So many people, most of us own real estate, a house or something like that. Many of us have businesses, but that slice of pie that most people are leaving on the table is investing and trading. So the first thing is we're just walking by it and ignoring it. The second thing is they say, well, I don't have any money. I ain't got no money. I ain't got no extra money to be buying any stocks. But yet we look at what is being purchased, right?
Right.
And there's plenty of money that is available to purchase stocks. It's just we're not thinking about it and we're not prioritizing. Stocks come in all different price ranges,
right?
From a few dollars.
And now you can buy pieces of stock.
You can buy a fraction,
a fraction of stock, and that's a new way that is a viable way. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So then people start learning a little bit, just enough to be dangerous, and they start hearing, "Man, give me a hot stock pick. Well, wait a minute. What may be a hot stock pick for me may not be a hot stock pick for you. Number one, and number two is I'll just start asking a couple of questions. Well, what's your strategy? Oh man, I just want that hot stock pick. Well, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, right? See, I use this example here. Suppose a friend of yours comes up to you and says, "Man, this new Corvette Stingray, the 2025 Corvette Stingray or Porsche or whatever it is, man, this is a hot car. You got to get it. You got to get it." But you don't even have a driver's license. You don't have no insurance.
You don't know how to drive.
You don't know how to drive.
Right.
And you just going to go out and buy the car and hop in it. You know what's going to happen there, right?
Yep, that's right.
So that's the same thing with the stock. You can get lucky. But it's a disaster waiting to happen.
That's right.
And so I don't give out hot stock picks and all this stuff. We teach people a strategy. We teach them, hey, this is how you can think about stuff, right? For example, you have the LA fires that are destroying everything. I mean, it's just unbelievable, as we all know. But there's going to be some companies that go in there and have to clean up,
right?
That have to rebuild.
Yes.
Many of those companies you'll be able to buy stock in.
Yes.
And one of the things that I learned is I was very angry after my house burnt down. And all these companies are coming at me and they're like, we'll rebuild your house. And I'm like, you're just trying to take advantage of me. I'm down in this. But no, after I sat and thought about it, I was like, I need those companies to rebuild my house. And they deserve to get paid, right? They're not going to do it for free. And so wherever there is a disaster, there is an opportunity for you personally and an opportunity to help people along the way.
Yes.
So the folks out in California, they're going to need all kind of support and help. And there'll be money out there to pay folks who do help. And I'm not looking at this price gouging and all this type stuff. Man, anybody who would do that now needs to be put in jail for years.
Right. I agree.
But being fair and going out and offering your services and your help or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. And so one of the things that I teach people, this is way before the tragedy in LA, is look for opportunities. It doesn't have to always be a devastating opportunity, but look for opportunities. You start thinking different when you understand how the stock market works. Absolutely. And so that's what we teach and how we teach.
Where can they reach you?
They can reach me at flipthatstock.com. Flipthatstock.com.
Flipthatstock.com. I want everybody to go to flipthatstock.com today. I want you to do it as soon as we can finish the show. We're almost over. And I want you to check out some of the resources he has, some free and some that you invest in yourself. He got courses, and it's a small investment for the possibility of large return. JR, thank you for being my guest today and sharing this powerful story of your house burning down and how you came back through that to a beautiful home that you saw when you changed your mindset and was able to then go on and build a business that's helping other people to live their dreams.
I appreciate you, Willie, and thank you for so much for what you do. And my parting words to your viewers and your listeners is 2025. Go after what you want. And I say this: if you can do what you love, have the opportunity to make unlimited income doing it, and help people along the way, to me, that's heaven on earth. And that's what we do. And so I appreciate you, brother. Love you. And anybody I can help and be of service to, we look forward to doing that. But check your insurance policy. If you don't remember nothing else about this conversation, check your insurance policy. Make sure you get it.
And take a video of everything in your house, no matter what. There you go. Well, I want to thank JR Fenwick, flipthatstock.com. I want to thank Truist Bank. They have made a commitment to help people buy homes in their communities. I want you to take a moment and go to truist.com. And if you're interested in getting a home at a low down payment, I want you to go to truist.com/homebuyer. Truist truist.com/homebuyer. They are committed to communities. They are committed to helping people who might have a tragedy or might have a disaster. Go to truist.com/homebuyer. Go to truist.com to learn more about them. And then go to winwithwillie.com. Winwithwillie.com for resources. Join me every Monday night for the Jolly Marriage Show at 9 o'clock Eastern on A Jolly Marriage on Facebook, A Jolly Marriage on Instagram, and Willie Jolley LinkedIn Live. Or you can go to the Jolly Marriage Show on YouTube to see replays. And then, folks, remember that your best is yet to come. Keep the faith. And I will look to see you next week, ready to go and grow to a next level. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. God bless you.
And everybody's right sometimes. Some rain's gonna fall. And everybody's house sometimes. Trouble will call. But when trouble stops by, you can sit there and cry. Or you can make up your mind. You're gonna stand up and fight. Hey, people, listen closely to the sound of my voice. Success in life is never due to chance but to choice. You choose to go on, to go through the storm, or you choose to give up, give in, and go in the town. Oh no, up to you. It's up to you. You win or lose. Whether you win or lose. If you want to reach the top, you must believe deep in your heart. Give it your all, everything you got, and never, ever, ever stop. Again.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.